Hello everybody, this is ALBER. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about my general setup and how everything is routed. This is a question that I get a lot, and honestly I put a lot of thought into it. And one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this today is that I am kind of thinking about rehauling it, this whole thing again. So before I changed it, I kind of wanted to explain a little bit what's going on in here, hoping that maybe this can help anybody make their own decisions in terms of hardware and how to take it around and play and perform freely with it. So the main rationale behind this is that I wanted to perform around the city. I wanted to be able to go to the gig without having to haul lots of gear, without having to put everything together every single time. You people know it's like one of the most miserable things, to having to, go to the gig and maybe you forget one MIDI cable, all of your pedal boards, your setup, your PC, your computers. And I always hated that. I played my first 2 or 3 concerts as ALBER that kind of way, and then I had to find a solution because that was driving me crazy. So I came up with this. This is not the first iteration of this. If you go back into my videos, you will find maybe different machines disorganized in a different way. But this thing over here, it's basically where I've been growing as far as setup. So first of all, this is a linen trunk. Okay, hear me out. Finding a good fly case is very difficult. Well, I shouldn't say fly case. I should say hard case. This is absolutely not a fly case. Should not fly with this. But finding a case is kind of hard. They cost a lot, and it's hard to find good sizes for it. So honestly, I found this. You can find this on a very famous website if you just write down linen trunk. Okay, so it's pretty inexpensive. I bought it a few years ago for $50-$60, and I checked the other day, it's still there. It's maybe $75-$80 right now, which compared to a hard case this size that comes with wheels, this thing has wheels, very helpful. You will probably looking to spend at least $250 at the very minimum, if not even more. So it is not the sturdiest, but honestly, I've been hauling it all over the place. I'm based in Kansas City for now, and I play out of town many times, and it lives in the back of my car when I'm driving, when I'm going to places. So far it's been pretty good to me. So I have this linen trunk. I open it sideways, and I built this little table over here. This is just something, this was basically the result of a Home Depot trip, okay? And I just spray painted it and built a little table so that I would have basically, let's see if I can do it without destroying anything. This lifts up, and I can put this set of table right over the right side, okay? So basically I can close it over, and everything is neatly pre-packaged inside. I go to the venue, I set up my table, and I open the trunk. I put this table, which is right here. I pull it very carefully, put it to the left side, bam, and that's what you see basically. So yeah, that's the surface level in here. That's the trunk. This little table that I built from Home Depot. Just, one thing that is very helpful is to check out online measurements of your instrument. That makes it very easy to plan around and have, sketches of what you want it to look like. So the cornerstone of my setup is definitely my Digitakt, okay? This is definitely where all my drums are in, all my sequences are in. I start the music with this, right? With this play button over here, that's what makes everything else start. So the Digitakt, in this moment I'm in the studio, so I have like a MIDI in, I have an external keyboard, you cannot see, okay? That I use to write sequences in and just like operate synthesizers if I want to or have to. And otherwise, I will not be having a MIDI in here or the USB cable plugged in. So this is the brain of the setup. Basically, this takes care of all the sequencing and the drums. And the Roland SH4D, which I talked a lot about on my channel, is basically what provides all synthesizer sounds. So 1 to 8 are going to be my drums and samples within the Digitakt. And then on this row, you can see these lights blinking. These would be my synthesizer lines. right? So you can cue parts. The SH4D has 4 polyphony voices. So usually 9 is gonna be my keys, 10 is gonna be my pads, and 11 is usually my bass. Right, so that's pretty straightforward. So the Digitakt goes inside the mixer over here. The SH4D goes inside the mixer. I routed a specific way, and you can check my previous video if you want to know more about how I specifically routed this. But this goes into the mixer, okay? And clearly there's a MIDI cable connecting the Digitakt to the SH4D, which is the only MIDI cable in action, basically. I never had problems with MIDI or having too many MIDI cables, but honestly, by experience, the least amount of stuff you bring to the gig, the least amount of stuff that can go wrong. That's my experience. And so far, it's very, very, very true. So everything goes in here. I also use a microphone when I play trumpet that goes straight into the mixer. And the reason why I have this mixer specifically, besides the fact that it sounds great, it's 12 channels, which is something that it's a good size for me, for what I do. I like this mixer specifically because it has 2 auxiliary inputs in here. So on the auxiliary 1 channel, I do have my Ventris reverb plugged in, while on the second auxiliary channel, I have my delay plugged in. So basically through these knobs, I can decide, let's go. Let's make the drums run. I can cue in the reverb now. A lot of reverb, and this is the delay. So I really like the fact that through the send and return effects, I can cue reverb and delay separately on each given track that I want to. So that is for the routing in here. These are the auxiliary effects, right? There's a little space over here where I have my roadmap, and maybe I might leave my phone or wallet if I'm playing a live show, something like that. So I kind of like stash my belongings in here. And so together with some instructions on how to cue, which chords are in this track, blah, 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 that kind of thing that everybody needs, right? So these 2 instruments go inside the mixer with the trumpet, and the external, the out of the mixer goes all the way inside the SP404, which right now I'm using as an end of the chain mastering instrument. Here and there, I might cue some special samples, some speech line, something that is maybe out of the ordinary that I want to have on cue, okay? Also for a theatrical, for optics, it's pretty nice sometimes to just show people that you are cueing something rather than everything happening by itself, if that makes sense. So I might use this to prepare for transitions and such. This is a master out, so you can see my voice, which right now is connected inside the mixer, also fades out as I speak. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right, so out of the SP404, then I go inside. I either have a DI box, not pictured here, if I'm going into a big stereo system in a venue. So I can connect XLRs into the DI box, or I might go like I'm doing right here, straight into my computer, straight into the system that I'm using. So yeah, this is what I'm using right now. It's pretty simple, straightforward. I basically have 1 rhythm sequencer instrument, 1 synthesizer instrument, and then something that takes care of the overall sound, gives me a chance to perform with effects, and also lets me cue samples if I need to. I do have other stuff, but so far this is the way I could condensate really everything I really wanted to do for a show, and I can probably play up to over 4 hours of stuff, just because of the sequences that I have inside and all the ways that I can perform every single track. So it's been pretty fun for now, but I'm still working on speeding this up or making it, I like a very economical, something where every single piece of the puzzle is used to its full extent. So anyway, I hope that this was helpful for you. I always have fun talking about these things. This is ALBER, and until next time.